Hello, I hope everybody's having a great day. I wanted to spend a few minutes to talk to you about next generation big data architectures because this is a discussion that all of you are going to need to be having with clients really starting right away. And I want to share with you some of what I've learned and how we can really start to communicate this to clients. Let's start with kind of a level set. I think this is something everybody understands. But a traditional data warehouse environment, this picture is probably something all of you recognize. You have an enterprise data warehouse, you have data marts that surround that, or data warehouses. This has essentially been IT for a better part of the last 5 to 10 years. And it was an IT environment that was focused on reporting, analytics, it's the kind of things that led to the creation of the BI market, and then obviously the data warehouse market. So I think all of you understand this. You can go talk to clients about this and paint this picture. The problem is that this really only works for an environment where you have only structured data, you have one technology paradigm, and really one type of workload. If that's what your environment's like, that's a great architecture. But we are moving towards a new world. We've talked about this in some of the enablement sessions. And as you go to this, what I'd call a next generation architecture or a big data architecture, you need a different approach. And so what I want to familiarize you with today is what I think of as next generation middleware, next generation data fabric for how companies will run their business. And it takes what was a very simplistic view before around warehouses and gives you really 3 different environments. And let me describe each of these. The first is what we call the landing zone. The landing zone is where you bring all of your data into, whether it's structured data, unstructured data, semi-structured data. This is kind of the starting point to the data journey. That will be done with technologies like Hadoop, NoSQL technologies. These are technologies that give you a little more flexibility, and it's a great place to land your data. Now, once you land your data there, that's probably not all you want to do with it. And that's where we come up with this second zone that I call the discovery zone. This is more of the traditional analytic warehouse. So you pull the data that you want out of the landing zone, you put it into the discovery zone. You can run reports, you can build SPSS models or SAS models into that discovery zone. But this really becomes the way for you to do targeted reporting for line of business, for specific applications. It's where you can really get high performance analytics. The third piece of the equation, and I'd say the one that's becoming more and more predominant, is what we're going to call the guided zone. This is where you basically have data that could come from the landing zone, could come from the discovery zone, but you're putting all of this data in one place, and then you tend to be running different types of workloads against the guided zone. So it could be tactical queries, could be some operational queries, could be a mix of analytic queries. What's important to understand is these 3 zones all do something fundamentally different. You're landing things, you're doing traditional analytics, data analysis, and down here, you're doing a combination of those. The other attribute I'd mentioned down in the guided zone is this is traditionally where you have many, often thousands of concurrent users, concurrent queries, which puts a different type of stress on the system. So how does this relate to our portfolio and what we can bring to market? So again, same idea with the 3 zones, but landing zone, that's big insights. And we should be talking to clients about big insights as a great place to land your data. You can do analytics there, or you could also just use it as a landing zone. Discovery zone, that's pure data for analytics powered by Netezza. This is obviously where our new product, the Striper product, is focused. More traditional, again, warehouse workloads. The last zone, down at the bottom, the guided zone, that's where pure data for operational analytics plays. And I know many of you have not really put that to the test, but if you look at where Teradata is successful, where Teradata makes a lot of their money, especially around the 6000 series, it's right down here at the bottom in the guided zone. And that's where we have to position pure data for operational analytics. So as you can see, this is a very different type of discussion to have with your client. You can go in there and educate them on the zones. educate them on the fact that we have capabilities for each of these zones. And this will give you thought leadership and really permission to go talk to the client about big data in a way that you may not have been able to before. And if you also want to take a broader view in terms of the IM portfolio, think of all the other things that play here. Streams could be one way to load these different zones. Something like Guardium could be security surrounding all of these zones, who's accessing it. Information integration is how you're going to move the data from one zone to the other. So this is not something to be taken lightly. I think this is possibly the next generation architecture that we'll see in many of our clients. We have some great experts on this topic. Many folks that I've spent time going to clients to talk to them about. Two that I'd mention here that you should know is Tim Vincent, who is the CIO of information management, tremendous knowledge on these types of architectures. Bill O'Connell as well, distinguished engineer. I give him Bill a lot of credit with really coming up with this concept to some extent. So look, I hope you got something out of this. I'm going to post an RFP that we responded to on this exact problem and how we could help a client develop this type of an architecture in their environment. I'll take the client name out of it, but I'll post that to the Twitter ID so all of you can use it if you want. Hope you have a great day. Thanks.